Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming out tonight for another episode of Jacob's Cooking Show, where we learn key principles that will help you make your cooking experience that much better. Tonight we'll be focusing on the measurement aspect of how to bake. This is a very important principle that we learn as cooks, as chefs, that makes cooking so much more enjoyable, and I love it every day. It makes me so much happy. Thank you. Thank you. Today we're going to be making a batch of chocolate chip cookies that's going to help us to nail down some of the key actions that are important for making a variety of different dishes. So chocolate chip cookies are tasty, fun, enjoyable, and we'll just set you up for a good long career of making a variety of different wonderful things. So today we're going to be measuring. I'll show you kind of the different techniques on how to measure. And that will kind of set you up to make your first batch of chocolate chip cookies. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some butter. This butter is at room temperature. We have 2 sticks here, and we're just basically going to have them at room temperature, not frozen, not melted. We're going to stick them in the bowl, and so just unwrap them and then stick them in the bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and unwrap them right now at a later time. Yep. So that's pretty easy. The next thing we want to do is add 1 cup of sugar. So when the proper technique with measuring is you take the measuring cup. This is a 1 cup measurement, 1 cup measurement cup, a measuring device that measures 1 cup, and we're going to go ahead and take a spoon, just any spoon from your house, and you're going to go ahead and just dip your spoon into the device that has your sugar, and you're just going to pour it in. Make sure to keep your measuring cup over the container so you don't spill it all over the place. It's just going to make a mess for the people that come right behind you. So you're just going to go ahead and just measure in your sugar, spoonful by spoonful, until you have enough sugar in your cup. And when you get to the proper amount of sugar, you might be a little over the cup. It's going to be, you're going to want to just fill it up all the way. And we're going to use a knife to just level it off. So this is a very precise way to measure things. A lot of people like to just stick the measuring cup right in the container and just kind of go for it. That causes a lot of issues as far as getting the right texture and taste out of your cooking. So we're just coming right down to the last couple scoops here before we get our measuring cup all the way filled. Here we go, just filling it up, last couple scoops. I'm just gonna go ahead and just fill it up, 1 more. Okay, here we go. So now, I'm gonna put my spoon down here. So as you can see, we have our sugar is slightly above the top of the measuring cup. So we're gonna go ahead and take a knife here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just very gently, just smooth it out. We're not trying to pack it in or anything, we're just gonna smooth it off the edge there, right there. Oh, look at that. Oh, thank you. Just going, there you go. Oof. And you just see you have a nice clean edge there on the sugar. We're just gonna go ahead and pour that right into the bowl. So it's just wonderful, nice little pouring motion there. So there you go. So that's our 1 cup of sugar. All right, so the next thing we have is we're gonna add we basically do the same thing with our brown sugar. So you're gonna take brown sugar, follow the same method as you did for the first. Except for with the brown sugar, because it's a little more of a dense texture, you're going to want to pack it into the measuring cup and then level it off with the knife. So just remember, when you have a little more granularity in your ingredient, you're going to just pour it in there, get it overfilled to the top, and just gently scrape it off. When it's a little harder, more tougher, the ingredients sticks together a little more easily, you're going to want to pack it in there, get it nice and filled in there. Okay. So next thing we want to do is we're going to take a couple eggs. Now eggs we're not really focusing a lot on how to open eggs. So you're basically just going to add 2 eggs to the bowl at this point. So we're not going to do that right now because we're focused on using the measurements. So next thing we're going to do is add baking powder. So baking powder here, we're just going to add 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon. I'm sorry about that. 1 teaspoon to that. So nice thing is with smaller measurement devices, all you have to do is just stick it in there and then use kind of a lid or some kind of flat object to level it out. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick my teaspoon in there. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just level it off into the bowl with the lid. Here we go. Oh, nice, nice, nice. And it's okay if you see some like cracking on the inside of it. And you're good. So then you see I now have a nice flat amount of baking powder. I'm just going to go ahead and pour that right into the bowl. Okay, so yep, and yep. So cool. And then now with the baking soda, we're going to just do the exact same thing. We have our baking soda here. The container is a little different than the baking powder. It usually comes in this more of a box with a little box carton that has a lid that kind of rips away. So we're just going to go ahead and stick our teaspoon in there and just stick it in there, grab some out, and then we're going to level off with just the edge of the box and just get a nice clean edge there. Oh, look at that. You can just see the nice clean edge there. So just going to just scrape it away, just get a nice flat edge in there. So anyway, so that's kind of our technique with the carton. It's not too difficult. Just try it out a couple times. Try it at home. Feel free to just experiment till you get it right, till you're gonna feel comfortable. So next thing we're gonna do is to try a half teaspoon. This one's pretty similar to the previous techniques we've learned. So we're just gonna take a half teaspoon. It's pretty easy. There you have different measurement devices. Full teaspoon, half teaspoon. So just look for your half teaspoon device. Now here we're going to do it with salt. This container is a little more technically involved because we're going to have to pour it into there. So this one is going to just require a little bit more of a steady hand. So we're going to take our bowl here, and we're going to want to just try and really get to the point where we fill it up, and it's going to be similar to the sugar. We're going to overflow it a little bit, and then we're going to just flatten it out, okay? So we're just going to go ahead, and I'm using the bowl to kind of act as like a catching device so I don't get it all over the place. Okay, so here we go. And then because the container is a little harder to do, I'm just going to go ahead and just filter it back into the device very carefully. This has taken years of practice to get it down. I had a lot of time just spilling salt all over the table. Don't worry about that. You'll be fine. So then we're going to go ahead and just take that and pour it into the bowl. It's wonderful. Okay, so now we're just going to move into kind of a different ingredient that I really love. I use it a lot in a lot of the different recipes that I work with. It's something called flour. So flour is it's a ground up version of wheat. If you ever used like a wheat type thing, yeah, this is a wheat base. So we're just going to grind it up really nice and thinly until it's just very grainy, and it's kind of a powder. Anyway, this is a little different than sugar. It's not the same because it's just the texture of the ingredient. Now it's going to pack a little tighter than sugar is going to pack, but not quite as much as brown sugar. So we're just going to kind of follow the same rules as with sugar in the sense we're just going to fill it up the cup, and then we're just going to flatten it out. Okay. So we're just going to go in here, just start taking spoonfuls using our just normal tablespoon here, and we're just going to fill up our cup. And the nice thing is that you can kind of even shake the measuring cup as you're filling it up there. So yeah, just shake it out, just kind of flatten it out, just add a little more here, there, you know, and you're gonna be really comfortable. Just let it overflow, you know, just keep it over your container, but just let the flour just kind of fill up the cup. So we're just gonna fill it up here. Okay, nice. And so you might feel really uncomfortable by the fact that you have a lot of flour here. We're just gonna put our tablespoon down, we're gonna grab our knife, and we're just gonna gently push it back into the container, just nice and gentle. And so you can just see there's a nice clean edge there, and it's just going to be really wonderful for our cookies. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to pour it in here. Nice there, and so that's just going to be our technique with our flour. So just remember that. Pretty similar, it packs a little more densely than sugar, but it's going to be the same technique as sugar, so just watch out for that.